Welcome to Child Development 120. This is Health, Nutrition, and Safety for Young Children. In this video, we will be going over what the course looks like online for this asynchronous class. And I will also be going over some of the class structure, basically what to expect throughout these next 16 weeks, and also just give you an example of what some of the assignments are. At the very end, I'm also going to go over the syllabus just briefly and go over some of the class policies relating to late work and plagiarism and things like that. First, I'm going to start with the modules and how they look on Canvas. Once again, this is an asynchronous course, so that means that there are no set days and times that you must be online participating with me. The participation will come through the modules on Canvas. You will be self-directed and self-paced as you get through the course content, and you'll have assignments due every single week in this class in order to make sure that you are staying up with this course content and you understand it. So generally, the Canvas course is going to look like this. The very first module, which I'll get to in a few minutes, will have all of our office hours information, syllabus information, textbook information. This first week, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking at a video lecture for this course. It's about wellness and just kind of overall health and what to expect from this course as far as course content and what we consider overall health and wellness. It's really important that you introduce yourself so that I can get an accurate roster. If you do not introduce yourself within the first week, you may be dropped from this course. If you also don't get into the class or participate by looking at any page views, introducing yourself or doing the first reflection, that shows to the college that you are not in this class and you might be dropped. If you have any questions about that, please email or message me. The best way to get a hold of me, go to the left-hand toolbar. See this vertical black toolbar? My mouse is circling a icon that says inbox. The best thing to do is to shoot me a message from there. Click on inbox, go to your professor for 120, which is me, Jolie. I have a much longer name. It's Crossweight Van Scoik. I don't go by that professionally for whatever reason. It was like, we need to use your birth certificate name, which is a hyphenated name that I have not used the last like 40 something years. My name is Jolie Van Scoik. You can address me as Jolie, which is my first name. That's perfectly fine. So the best way to get a hold of me and not have to write that very long name is to go to this inbox icon, which is on this left-hand toolbar. Go all the way to the left-hand side on your screen. It says inbox, shoot me a message there. So you need to introduce yourself by the first week, and you also need to complete this first reflection, which shows to me in the college that you are actively participating in part of this online asynchronous class. Generally, after that, we have three kind of larger topics that we're going to be learning about in class. So we're going to have a couple of weeks on nutrition, then we're going to have a couple of weeks on health, then we're going to have a couple of weeks on safety. Then our very last week, we'll learn more about mental health because our mental health is just as important as our physical health. And we're going to review for the final exam. The final exam will be very easy. You're actually going to get a bunch of final review questions that you can go over as many times as possible. And then on the 16th week, you'll have 3 days in order to complete that final exam. The final exam is all multiple choice, true, false, and some short answer. But this review in the last week will fully get you completely prepared for that final exam. So that's generally what the class is going to be like. The first week is just a welcome. Then we'll have a few weeks of nutrition, a few weeks of health, and a few weeks of safety. When that module opens, you'll have many video lectures with information, links, resources, and writings on nutrition, then age groups, then nutrition planning. And then in this particular group of learning, you're going to have 4 different assignments that you're going to do, and they'll all be due at different times. So 1 week you'll do a nutrition log for your own self, where you'll learn how to kind of track proteins and fats and carbohydrates that you eat for 5 days. Then you'll make a menu for children. So you'll learn all about nutrition concepts, and then you'll learn why it's important to have specific things for children. You'll do a newsletter. So it's kind of a fun thing, a more fun assignment, as fun as assignments online can be, where you're going to teach parents in a newsletter about a nutrition concept. And then you'll also try to find some disinformation in the wild about nutrition because it's rampant on social media and the internet. And why is this particular information this information or not. So that's an example of what a whole module might be. So you'll be working on it for many, many weeks. Each week you'll have a different assignment due, which is designed to help you understand more about the course content. Then for our video for health, same thing. You'll have many video lectures and information. Then you'll do things like draw a great environment. So if you had, millions of dollars, what would be a healthy environment that you might create for children who might be in an elementary school or in a preschool? Then with safety, we're going to do checklists and learn more about really, really safe environments where children can't get hurt. How also living in a area of the United States where we have fires and we have earthquakes. And now, after the last couple of weeks, and even last year, we have atmospheric storms that lead to flooding. How can we keep children safe in those types of environments? What happens if you have a flood at your school? What happens if there's an earthquake? So those are some of the things we're going to be learning about. So what I'll do is in 2 weeks, I'll open up your nutrition learning. And for about a month, you're going to learn all about nutrition. Each week, you will have a new assignment due. So all of the course content will be available to you that first time, but then you're going to work through it by turning in an assignment every single week. So while this is an asynchronous class, a best practice is going to be to look at your assignments early and often and ask questions. I am not a bot. I am not available at midnight. I'm not available on weekends. I check my emails and I facilitate this class Monday through Friday during normal business hours. So if you need support, which I want you to reach out to me and ask me lots of questions, come to my office hours, but just know that you should be around weekly and you should be asking questions during business hours so that I can offer you support. So this is what our class is going to look like for the next semester. I'm going to go back to the very first module and show you some of the things that are in it, and then I'm going to go over the syllabus and some credibility guidelines as well. So this will always remain the same. The very first part of this module is welcome to the course. Our syllabus, online textbook that is totally free, and my communication plan and how you're going to reach me is there as well. The second part is our credibility guidelines. Unfortunately, there's a lot of disinformation, misinformation, and just general fake news about nutrition and health online. So I'm going to talk about how to not fall for fake news. Then we have student support services, which I will just briefly click on. These are all of your kind of resources. So this is health, food, housing, parking, library, tutoring, if you needed to get testing, which we've kind of ramped back on, but we still have some testing. If you need help with the pantry, if you need food banks, if you need help with bills, technology, anything like that, this is all of your resources in one spot. So you can just literally just click on it, get some more information. This is my office hour schedules. My office hours are totally online and on Zoom. These are the days that I will be available from 11 to 12. This is the Zoom link for every single office hour as well. If you come to office hours on one of these days, like for example, your March 19th, you can drop in any time between 11 and 12 p.m. So between 11 a.m. and noon, anytime drop in. You'll be directed to a virtual Zoom waiting room where you'll just hang out until I'm done with meeting with the student who was there before you. Or if I'm not meeting with anybody, I'll immediately grab you out of the virtual waiting room and you and I will have a conversation one-on-one on Zoom. If these days and times do not work for you, send me an email or a message here on Canvas, giving me a few days and times that you would like to meet. I am available many other times. Give me times that will work for you, a few of them. I'll choose one or come up with my own and email you back and we can meet one-on-one on Zoom on different times. You just need to reach out to me. So that is our office hour schedules and any kind of support links that you might have. On the very first part, this is where all the information for the class will always be. So if you ever want to watch this video again, or if you need to find where the PDF for the textbook is, or if you want to email me, this is my email with my very long name. Once again, feel free to call me Jolie, but this is my email. You could click on this, but the easiest thing, like I said before, is to go to the left-hand toolbar, click on inbox, shoot me a message, go straight to my email. I check emails kind of about 3 times a day, Monday through Friday. As soon as I see your email, I will send you a response. But once again, these are normal business hours. I am not a bot. I am not available 24/7, 365. Course navigation, the easiest thing is to just come to the homepage That's where all of our modules and all of our information are. I'm trying to keep it as easy, as organized, and as simple as possible for you to access the information you'll need for this course. I am now going to do a new share with our syllabus. So this should be our syllabus for health, safety, and nutrition. Once again, there is my email. Once again, this is an asynchronous class. You decide when you want to be on, but it needs to be every week. So you are submitting those 10-point assignments that are due every Monday for the duration of the class. Once again, I try to shake them up. I try to do different things throughout the class, discussion boards, assignments, drawings, writings, making newsletters to try to keep it a little bit more fun and engaging as we learn about health, safety, and nutrition for young children. I'm not going to go over the course description, student learning outcomes, or course objectives. We're going to do that in the first week's course content. And we're also going to hit all of these throughout the semester. Read those on your own time by downloading the syllabus, which you should be reading and looking at as well for every class that you ever take. Once again, you're expected for our class policies to attend. I know it's an online class and it's asynchronous, but you should be logged on and taking part in the activities, lectures, and 10-point assignments every week. Another best practice is to maybe look at the assignment. If it's due in a week, look at it on a Monday or Tuesday so you have plenty of time to ask me questions. Or if you're feeling good about it, then you can do it on a time that's more convenient to you. The assignments, once again, are all submitted on Canvas. You shouldn't have to send anything in, anything like that. If you're struggling with the class, obviously reach out to me. But if you're having a hard time turning things in because you're having a hard time, you have to go out of town for a funeral, your kid breaks a leg, you have COVID, something like that, a quick email letting me know that you are going to be late or you need an extension or you need some more support or you're just having a rough time. We can then work through late assignments as you need them to be turned in. I'm more than happy to work with students if you are communicating with me in a timely way and asking for extensions and support before assignments are due. So before something's going to happen, before it becomes a large problem, reaching out to me, I'm more than happy to grant extensions if I've had conversations with you. Generally, though, there is no late work. Unless you've gotten kind of either the verbal or written approval from me ahead of time. Once again, just generally letting me know what's going on, and I can generally work with you as far as late things. But there's no late work if you just didn't want to do it or you were procrastinating and you ran out of time. Especially though there's no late work, there's no makeup for late work. If it's you can't like get to the 15th or 14th week and try to do all of the assignments that are late that you never did all in 1 week. I especially do not accept late work during final exams week. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of things to wrap up our semester, to administer our final exams, things like that. So no late work is accepted during the final week. And also if you missed 7 or 8 assignments, that means you missed 7 or 8 weeks of course content, and that cannot be made up without prior approval from the instructor. Integrity and honesty, we're going to go over credibility guidelines, but these are the plagiarism things that are going to be standard for the entire university because this is what the university thinks is plagiarism. The most important thing for this class is if you're being asked to research something or look up something or read a book, you need to provide where you got that information for by doing some form of citation. You cannot copy and paste somebody's work, especially from the internet, and put it into Canvas because Canvas is going to send me a plagiarism report and it's going to tell me exactly where you found that. And then I'm going to know that you just copy and pasted it. You can do a quotation. You can copy and paste, put quote marks around it, and then do some kind of in-text citation. If you don't know what this is or you're having a hard time with this, we have disability support and we also have writing support. We have English language support and we have writing tutors available to you. In that student support module that I already showed you, you can click on writing support and they will go over this with Zoom. They will help you. They will go over the databases and the library that we have as well. Classroom etiquette, you're expected to be courteous and respectful in online spaces. So if anything is inappropriate or disrespectful, it will be removed from the discussion boards that we might have throughout the class. But I have put a lot of information about the classroom discussions and kind of netiquette, how you act with each other in online spaces in the first discussion board on Canvas. So please read through what is considered good course conduct and what Palomar and myself expect from you for appropriate and respectful conversations. Grades, I start grading your weekly assignments after they are due. So if they are due Monday at 9, then Tuesday and Wednesday, or Thursday and Friday, I'm generally spending time on your assignments. So it typically takes me about a week. I read through every single one. I offer feedback as necessary. If you don't have grades posted after a while, check the grades function on Canvas and make sure that I haven't said, hey, I can't open this, or your link is broken, or, I can't read your handwriting if you had done it by like longhand, something like that. But you should definitely check that. If you're not submitting work, you'll be getting zeros on them, and that late work may or may not be accepted, and that's going to start to bring your grade down, because most of the work for this class are these weekly fun interactive assignments that are designed to help you learn course content. So every Monday morning, you're going to have something due and you need to get that in. Otherwise, you're going to start racking up some zeros, and that's going to hurt your grade. Can be really easy, I think, on online spaces because you don't see me to not kind of think about grades, and then you get to the end and you're like, oh my gosh, I missed so many that I can't make up, or I didn't do well on them. So looking at your Canvas grades function a couple of times throughout the semester is really going to kind of help you stay on top of that. So disability support, this class is designed for everybody to kind of succeed, but if you do have accommodations, just make sure that, and from a verified disability, that you've kind of sent me the letter within the first 2 weeks so that I am notified and I know what to expect as far as your accommodations. If you feel like you might have an accommodation, you need support because of anxiety or test taking or something like that, the disability support is also online in those student support services I already talked about. That's also where you'll find your writing support and your library support as well. Integrity, you can, and like the content of this class, this is all my course content that I have created specifically for this class. You cannot record videos of anything that's happening on Canvas without my consent or without an official accommodation letter from disability. Disability might allow you to record my video lectures that I put up or something like that in order to make you successful. If you have a letter, that's more than fine. But I don't want to see any of my course content downloaded or put up on the internet without my consent. Same with social media. No part of this, no part of my image or video image from online lectures or anything like that can be shared or posted on any of the social media platforms, which includes but is not limited to Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. I'm sure there's something new out there. My kids were telling me about something that's some kind of new social media. I don't want to keep track of social media anymore, and I definitely don't want to be on any kind of internet or social media. This and my image and any kind of video lectures are just for the Canvas space for your asynchronous learning while you are a student at Palomar. Course content, this is a child development class specifically relating to health, nutrition, and safety. Throughout the class, we might touch on issues that affect children's health, such as child abuse, violence, adverse childhood experiences as well that might impact our health. And at the very end, we're going to talk about general mental health as human beings, and then also children's mental health as well. Just know that these topics might be part of the class. If you anticipate that some of these issues might be difficult to hear from, the great thing is that here at Palomar, we have free mental health services so that you can, if you're anticipating having a response to hearing about these things, seek out and put in place a plan for support from the relevant mental health advisors, which is our kind of mental health counselors. We have a certain amount of free mental health counseling for any students who are kind of taking this class. That's part of what you pay for when you register for these classes, and those student support fees that you pay for is a certain amount of mental health support. And so if you anticipate responses to hearing about these types of things, you can put into place a plan with those people in order to kind of protect yourself. These are the points possible for the class. I'm a look, oh my gosh. Is that, no, it should be 190 points. Look how good I am at math. This is why I do not teach you math. Actually, my mother-in-law teaches at math at Palomar, and she is fantastic. She would be like, "Oh my gosh, she can't even add." No, she would. She understands that this is not my forte. My forte is reading, writing, and teaching you about children. Apparently, I can't even do basic arithmetic. But for 15 weeks, you're going to have 10 points of assignments due every single week. So that's a possible 150 points. Your final exam is only 40 points. So that should be 190 and not 200 points. I will fix that when I put it up on Canvas for you guys. That is the scale, which is not correct either, and I will fix that as well. Once again, for this class though, I am going to do a new share once again with Canvas. What this schedule is going to kind of look like for this class is that you're going to have the first week, which is your welcome and introduction, learn about general health and wellness. For a couple of weeks, you're going to learn about nutrition with one assignment being due every week. Then you'll learn about health with one assignment being due every week. That supports your learning about health. Same for safety. The last week will be mental health and a very big comprehensive review for the final. And then the final will be due Wednesday in May. So you'll have 3 days in order to take the final at your own leisure, and you get as much time in that attempt as you need. And same with the assignments. You get 7 days to do the assignments, so you have plenty of time to do them every week. The last thing that I'm going to talk about for this class is our credibility guidelines. Unfortunately, there's, like I talked about before, just a lot of like fake news and disinformation about health and nutrition and safety for everybody, for all of us, right? Because we're all individuals. We're all going to need maybe an individual diet, our bodies have individual needs depending on disabilities or abilities that we might have, how old we are, how young we are. So we all have individual needs. So a lot of our nutrition and our health is going to be, and even our safety in the safe places that we have, is going to be individualized to who we are. Unfortunately, as well, disinformation and misinformation is really, really rampant in health and nutrition spaces online, especially on social media where there's not a lot of recourse. So like if you post disinformation, at the very most, if you get in trouble, you'll just, remove that post. So you can kind of say a lot of things that are not true and are specifically not true for young children. And young children are infants and newborns and toddlers and really, really young people who are more vulnerable to bad nutrition. If a newborn receives bad nutrition, bad formula, or even things that are not appropriate for them to eat, like eggs and honey, or even eating in their first 3 weeks, that can lead a child to the emergency room. It can even, if they are chronically being given the wrong foods for their body, they can even die. So it's really important that we get best health information out there for children, and we get that best health information for children as well. So it's not just for our assignments, because I want you to have credible information for your assignments, like good authors giving you good information, but also for our own selves. If you are receiving bad information about your nutrition as an adult in community college, that could hurt yourself overall if you're eating a bad diet, or you're listening to somebody who maybe doesn't have your best interests at heart. Also, we want to make sure that the children we work for and provide food for are getting the best nutrition and health they can have as well. So it's really important that we look at the sources. We don't just read one post and take it as the absolute truth. We look at who's writing this, why are they writing it, what's their background, what kind of education or professional knowledge do they have. We also want to make sure that the supporting sources, check out this link, read my PDF. What are they saying? What are they trying to maybe sell us if it's on social media? When was it written? Was it written 35 years ago? Nutrition in the last couple of years has changed quite a bit as we learn more about nutrition as well. Sometimes it can be a joke if it's super, super satire. Sometimes it might have biases. My own biases or the biases of the author might become apparent as well. And a lot of times we just want to make sure that we are asking experts. So what is an expert? Well, when it comes to an author, the author needs to be respected in their field of study, and they're going to cite their sources. I got this from Cornell. Cornell has a great nutrition, especially for children program. So does Harvard. So does Yale, Stanford. A lot of places like that that would be a good source of information about child nutrition. In the nutrition source, an author should have an advanced degree. So if you are citing somebody in this class, that author that you are citing should have a master's degree in nutrition or a registered dietitian, which means they have a master's degree. That means that they specifically went to 4 years and then they got a master's, typically 2 years in nutrition. We'd also probably want somebody that specializes in pediatrics or young children, something like that. In the health field, they should have a degree in child development and health, or a lot of times we have health education degrees. They might even be a pediatrician or a doctor, somebody who works specifically with children as well. So that would be a good author. We also want to make sure with their purpose that they are being more objective, that they understand that there are biases. They're not trying to provide you a biased way of kind of thinking, that they are careful with and understand that they have a specific view on a topic, but other people might have a view as well. So we don't want it just to be one-sided. Also online and in social media posts specifically, a lot of times they're trying to sell something to you, and you need to be aware of that. If they're selling a service, a product, like click on my link and buy all of these things off my Amazon storefront, they're going to get money from Amazon by having you click on and buy those links. That doesn't necessarily mean that this author is not credible, but it does make us want to think if they are getting if they're getting money by having you buy their products, click on their service, have coach you, something like that. If they're getting money off of you and you're buying that service, that might be a motive that we might want to think about a little bit more. We might need to research more about these products and services and who this author is and where they went to school and how long they've been working with children before automatically believing their posts. We'd also want to make sure that in their social media, when they are citing sources, that those sources are accurate, that they were written by people who have a background in dietetics or nutrition or working with young children. So be really careful when you're evaluating those internet sources. The internet is not all bad. Books are just as good. You should be reading books, and we have a beautiful library. That's a great place to study. We have all of our nutrition journals, lots of information, and we've tried to stack those library with lots of great child development resources for you. But we also have an online library, and this is the link that goes straight to it. We have online and in-person services. We have databases, so you can go and you can use the online database to search up vitamin C in children, or what is formula safety for children who can't breastfeed, things like that as well. So these are the guidelines that we should generally be using throughout the class. So when we are learning more about nutrition, health, and safety, and we are doing some of our own research, making sure that the authors are maybe not trying to make a lot of money off of us. And if they are, we're definitely kind of looking at their sources and we're thinking critically about them as a source. And then also making sure that that author has a background and an education in children and nutrition, health, and safety. And typically has years of professional experience as well. And the sources they're citing are coming from universities and colleges that are spending time putting money into research so that we can learn the most about children and health. All right, so that is it for this class. We've learned about what the class structure is going to look like. This video is always going to be available to you on this first module, along with the syllabus and also the office hour schedule, any support services, and the credibility guidelines. After that, this week, you're going to just be introducing yourself and doing a short reflection. And then after that, we are going to have every week, you're going to have you're going to have some class content that you're going to get. And then you're going to also have assignments due every Monday morning in order to reinforce that course content. Once again, if you need need to get a hold of me, go ahead and shoot me a message and I will get back to you during normal business hours. Otherwise, I am looking forward to seeing you in office hours, getting your messages, learning more from you in your discussion boards as well. So have a great class and I'll see you guys more online.